Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision and I'll be discussing some of the key markets of interest for me right now. Now, since this time last week we've had quite a bit of news and a huge amount of volatility in a number of markets, namely all around the vote from the UK to leave the EU during that referendum. Now, that's caused the markets to look a little bit different to this time last week, but there is some rather interesting price action, and a lot of the analysis that we were looking at have in actual fact played out. So what for the markets now? So if we take a look here at the mini Dow future, last week the market was back here around 17,750. And we sort of looked at these levels around 18,000 up here, and we had also discussed 17,400 too, and these previous levels below the market too. So at this moment in time, we can see that the market did move on. It did move up to 18,000. It found resistance there again, and really I think it was the referendum news that then sort of exacerbated the move here in the markets down. But even so, we can see that the markets did play out quite nicely to those sort of technical levels that we'd seen. So at the moment the market's pulled back up to, so we've had this big move, we've now got to pull back up to sort of 17,400. And what I look for here on when we've had big moves like this is I often look for retracements back up after a big move, and then to start to look for some normalization of the markets and normalization of the trend. So at the moment the market's come back up to 17,400, back up into this sort of area. It's also a key level of previous support and resistance. So for me, what I'm starting to look for here is sort of evidence of any continuation of the move, long, or in actual fact whether the market's going to roll over and become weak here and we're going to get a retracement down here to 17,000. A break below 17,000, of course, there's not an awful lot in the way for sort of continuous moves of those trends to the short side. Now, the sort of time frames that I'm going to be looking at is more on these intraday time frames for first evidence of this to occur. Here on the intraday time frame, certainly in the 4-hour chart at the moment, there's no sort of evidence of weak momentum coming in, but the market is coming back up to those key levels. So I'll still stay nimble here on the mini Dow future, looking for opportunities either intraday, either long or short, as these sort of key decision points here get played out. Now, the next market, if we come and take a look at gold, gold last week we were looking for sort of possible pullback to around this sort of 1280, 1260 area before a sort of continuation of the move longer. If we remember back on gold, we were looking at the 4-hour time frame. We're looking at the sort of divergence that we had here in the markets on specifically here on the 4-hour time frame, and for that reason we're looking for a bit of a pause in the upward momentum, a bit of a drawback in price before continuation of the move long. In fact, the market did play out directly back to 1260, as we can see here, and again with a bit of help from the referendum news, the market has continued quite higher up to sort of 1360. So here at the moment, again, my longer term view on gold is still very bullish. Even the sort of fundamentals support a sort of a move into sort of safe haven instruments, which of course gold is one of those. So taking a look here at the sort of weekly chart, we can see weekly trend structure still looks very nice intact. Nice orderly uptrend here, and potentially much further for the market to go. So what I'm looking for again specifically is going to be sort of a bit of a pullback in price, consolidations, pull back into the averages, looking for areas to get positioned to be able to ride gold long. Now, the next market that we looked at last week was the Japanese yen future. So looking at the yen future here, last week what we were talking about was a sort of consolidation and a pullback to around this sort of 9600 level. Again, what we were specifically looking for here on the 4-hour chart, we're looking at the market sort of consolidating along 96. We were also looking at the divergence that we could see in the markets too. And again, in fact, the markets sort of played out to technical levels. We also have 94, which was a very precise level that's been tested many times before. And the market did come back and test 94 before moving higher again. So again, here on the yen, longer term bullish at this moment in time. The markets just seem to be sort of consolidating at this moment in time. What I want to see here is for evidence of the trend starting to form again before starting to look for new positions. So again, very much intraday positions here on these markets in the sort of near term. If we're going to take a look at the Great British Pound quickly, the Great British Pound future here, this is an example of the volatility that we had in the market sort of post the referendum result, or in actual fact this started whilst the referendum was taking place. Now, when I start to look at markets like this and this huge colossal move, one of the things I'm sort of looking for again is a bit of a pullback in price, a bit of a pause. There's certainly going to be plenty of potential volatility with news flow as that sort of rolls out over the next sort of few weeks and possibly few months. But in the near term, I'm certainly looking for a bit of a retracement here in price, and and then sort of a rejigging of positions here to being able to see how the markets sort of play out from here. Now, at this moment in time, what I start to look at is there any sort of support and resistance structures that the market could retrace to? Looking in across here, of course, on the daily chart, we can see we've certainly got something here around this sort of 1.4 level, or just above the sort of 1.4 level. We can see that there's quite a key level there of previous support. So again, the market pulling back up into this area could be or the market could find significant resistance here. Again, if we start to add a few more layers here of analysis over the top, we can also see that this level also being sort of key support also happens to be a 50% retracement of the of that move. So again, if we get some bullish momentum coming back into the market, I'm going to start to look for intraday opportunities to sort of get positioned to maybe or trade the market long up to around this sort of 1.4, 1.41 here area before again looking for sort of key decisions around this area in price. So that's the few markets here that I'm keeping a close eye on for opportunities over the next few days and the remainder of the next week. Just want to tell you about where you can find these events and where you can find an added resource here for your trading. If you come to the TradeStation International website, come over to the webinars tab over here on the right hand side, you can find a menu of options here. So this is where all of the market commentaries are based, and these are listed here every sort of Wednesday lunchtime, UK and European time, Wednesday morning time for US time zones, and the market commentaries are placed in here for your review. We've also got recorded webinar events that we've run over the sort of past weeks and months, so you can gain access to view those recordings if you wish. And of course, if you do want to attend the events live, then you just come into the live events calendar here and you'll be able to find out more information about the forthcoming events. So that's the markets that I'm looking at this week. Hope you find it useful, and certainly look forward to speaking to you next time. Bye for now.